So afraid of robots really replacing human
workers will be more autonomous.
Esas barreras que...
We're in the early stages of a major technological revolution. Computers, software, big data are vastly expanding the set of things that machines can do today. Machines are just beginning to learn how to pick up on subtler social cues and how to learn how to do tasks on their own. And as the machines get better at that, there'll be a broader set of jobs that are affected.
It's possible that at some point in the distant future, machines could replace human labor, but that period is very far away, and in the meantime, machines complement human labor in all kinds of ways. They make us more productive, they make us safer, they allow us to do more interesting and varied jobs.
Before we look at the future of work and the elements of digitization, it's important to look back at the past of work.
The first wave of jobs that were especially affected were routine information processing jobs, where we can define clearly the steps of the tasks that need to be done. You can take those steps, you can codify them, and then you can digitize them. And once you digitize them, you can make a copy, or 10 copies, or 100 million copies.
That process automation tends to reduce the demand for many of these middle skill jobs, clerical jobs. What remains behind? Well, on the one hand, you have professional, technical, and managerial jobs, and on the other hand, you have many jobs that are also growing that are not highly educated or highly paid, and these are food service, cleaning, security.
Some of the new jobs that will be created are in areas of social interaction, nurturing, caring, persuading people, sales, coaching. These are all jobs that rely on interpersonal interactions that machines so far are pretty bad at.
Many of them are creative jobs, so jobs in research, jobs in entertainment, jobs that require physical dexterity, like being an electrician or a plumber or a construction worker. So there's a broad set of activities that I think are hard to automate and will become more, not less important.
We're going to find out many things about sharing with others. Do you know why we share? Let's find out.
Soy una gran usuaria de la sharing economy. Uso mucho.
I think the sharing economy might be a good thing, but only if there's a shift in what is considered common grounds and what is considered.
De plus en plus, on a une source de revenus de première et puis on a éventuellement des revenus d'appoint. Comme on l'était dans
El Estado va a tener que pensar cómo toda la net de seguridad social se adapta a esta nueva realidad.
Digitization presents opportunities for people to monetize their assets, to turn your car or your apartment into a source of income. At the same time, it presents some challenges in terms of how we define workplace relationships. So what happens if you are driving a car for profit and you get into an accident? Are you someone who's entitled to protection, or are you on your own?
We traditionally measure things like how many jobs have been created, when we really now have to go to a much more detailed analysis of the quality of the jobs, the quality of the workplace, the security that you have. We are in the post-crisis, but still with more unemployed than before the crisis. So this is what the meeting is going to be about. Getting our heads together, getting our skills together, our knowledge together, and finding the best practices. This is what the OECD is about. Better policies for better lives. In this particular case, better labor policies for better lives.
Perhaps the heart of the digital revolution when it comes to the impact on us as individuals is in how we work, in where we work, and indeed, perhaps most importantly, whether we work. One of the most troubling, disturbing elements in this is the emergence of a smart machine network in which machines will replicate our labor, do it more cheaply, do it more effectively. We're on the verge of either something really good or something really bad. It could be a great renaissance. It could be a new way to discover humanity, a new age of humanism, a new way to focus on what it means to be human. We have to find stuff about us, qualities about us that distinguish us from machines. The machine won't be able to replicate everything. They won't be able to do this kind of thing. They won't be able to look another human being in the eye and understand the complexity of that. They won't be able to work on the fly in this kind of conversation. That may not guarantee a lot of jobs. So we're faced with this great quandary, and I don't believe technology will ever be human. But technology is forcing us, human beings, to know who we are as human beings. Our challenge and our opportunity is to manage ourselves. Marx famously talked about history being made by us, or the moment has come where we make our own history. In the beginning of the 21st century, that moment has come for us. We have to make our own history as human beings, and it's hard. It's very hard to figure that out. It's figure out what it means to be human. It's a great challenge.
We see job opportunities in the freelance and gig economies in roles that you wouldn't have been able to previously see 15, 20 years ago. Anything from marketing to executive roles to medical.
The workplace has become somewhat borderless. We are no longer constrained by the walls of an office. We can work at any time, anywhere.
Tied to that is also the globalization and equalization opportunities that kind of workforce can allow.
How much better would it be for me to leverage a platform to access the world's best talent, regardless of where that talent is, where the work is, and when I need to get that work done.
Younger people are asking for more flexibility. Companies that are able to provide that flexibility will be more successful at attracting top talent. There's really no need why you should be looking only at, the 10-mile radius that traditional companies were looking at.
The benefits of what digitization have allowed for the workplace can also be a downfall if you don't manage it properly. And that means both the employee managing it and the employer. I emphasize to people to really make sure they have clear boundaries for themselves. And they do turn off, and they're fairly honest with themselves so they don't let it creep into their lives and be nonstop.
It's not just are you a great developer or are you a really good writer, but it's also can you market yourself and can you sell yourself. One of the reasons why this resonates so well with the millennial generation is because that's what they do anyway. When you've been participating in social networks all your life, this makes perfect sense for them to do this with their professional life as well.
In a global economy where the pace of change is orders of magnitude greater than what it has been in the past, individuals need to reskill themselves many different times.
In a world that is going to be short of talent, those with the right skills will have many choices. And if they don't feel that they make enough progress and gain enough knowledge, they will choose to work elsewhere. So how, as an employer, you engage with the talent with the right skills is going to be extremely important.
In the generations coming up, people are going to be retired, and then they're going to be still very active intellectually and physically for another 20, 30 years. And I think what you'll see again is this notion of more flexible, remote, freelance type of work.
The successful leaders of tomorrow are the ones who are going to be able to say, is it best for me to hire someone? Should I offshore the work? Should I use a platform like a top coder? The winning organizations of tomorrow will be the ones who have a business model that allows to seamlessly traverse all of those options and continually move work in a way that best meets their needs.
In recent decades, we've seen a dramatic change in the labor market. There's been a polarization where there's been large growth in very highly skilled, sophisticated positions that require judgment and creativity on one hand, and also there's been large growth in relatively low-skilled positions that are quite difficult to automate. What we have seen very little job growth in are middle-skilled positions, and often the skills required for these positions are fairly easy to automate. So in many large companies, there were previously layers of middle management who largely played a coordinating role within firms. And today, because of software and better project management applications, these skills are really not needed as much as in the past. So we're really seeing a division in the labor market. And the big skills that seem to be winning out the most are creativity, judgment, and difficult to automate non-routine tasks. That seems to be where most of the job growth is today, and I think that's going to continue in the future.